All right, we back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anthony Goodson. I'm the host of the #1 podcast at this time on this page in this city. It's called rebrandUS.
At this time.
At this time on this page in this city. Alongside my co-host, Eric Russell. What's up, Eric? How you doing?
What's good, Ant? I'm good myself.
Hey, look, man, we don't have nothing to talk about tonight. I'm good, by the way. Thanks for asking. We're just having conversations with rebrandUS. So if y'all have something y'all want to talk about, please let us know. It's going to be a few of us on tonight. Me, Ace, the whole crew, Eric. What's up, Eric? Ace, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, fellas. How you guys doing?
We good, bro. A lot of background noise, but we good.
Yeah, we can hear that squeaking chair. You need some WD-40. Tonight we are conversations with rebrandUS. We just talking. We have no subject, no topic, no nothing tonight. We want to talk to y'all. We want y'all to talk back to us.
You ain't actually supposed to tell the people that.
Some things are going to be controversial. Some things are not. But everything is going to be good. Y'all be sure to tell us what y'all want to hear. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all take this time to please share the show. Share button. Let me do it too. I'm going to have to go and do it real quick. You guys talk amongst you.
Hey, also, we'll be back next week with another topic, hard-hitting topic, though. Back on some maybe leadership, back with maybe some black community type stuff, maybe more about men versus women type stuff, role, things like that. We'll be back with some hard-hitting topics next week as well.
Absolutely, man. Hi, Anthony D. Goodson, somebody says. I wish I could get this fixed. Anyway, somebody said hello to me. What's up to you? We'll figure out who it is. We'll get your name up in a little bit. Going to the comments. Who else says something? They say, hey, Eric.
What up?
Maybe the same person.
Yeah, Leonard.
And then what's
wait a minute, Debbie. Now, there's three people on the screen. Debbie, Steve.
What's up, Debbie? It's my Debbie.
What up, Deb?
What up, Deb? What up? Hey, look, we just talking tonight. Just talking. So, Eric, give us something to talk about.
Well, go Ace first.
Okay.
Ace got a lot of topics.
I definitely want to talk about this. This is something that I want to discuss with the people to see how the people feel. The situation we have going on in Florida. Excuse me, I have to adjust my chair. I think my son was trying to see if he could embarrass daddy. The situation we have in Florida with they taking the racial studies and anything having to do with race out of the curriculum, and now they're actually possibly getting rid of Black Greek life as a whole. I want to know, how do you guys feel about that?
Trying to get rid of African American studies out of college and trying to eliminate Black Greek life. First of all, audience, y'all tell me what y'all think about that. Trying to get rid of African American studies out of schools and deleting Black Greek life in different colleges.
Now, just think about this though. They're not deleting any other Greeks. They're not deleting any of the white Greek organizations. It's just the Divine Nine.
But the thing you talk about it's two different things, but they're connected at the same time, right? African American studies, but Black Greek life as well. So I think you got to talk about it independently, but they're also connected.
You know, I think it's very funny that this is the number one thing that number two at least thing that we need to study in all of our colleges. It's Black history. It's part of history, just like any other history that we have. So taking any kind of Black studies out is like taking American history out, in my opinion. That's a part of the American fiber. It's like taking the heart out of a human being and expecting them to continue to go on, right? It's just not possible. So, I mean, you know, the brainchild may be the thief that came here, but the heart of the country is the ones who built it. So I think it's very important to know that we are the heart of this country. We have to keep that in there. I'm not Greek. The fraternities, I think that's probably a little bit more near and dear to the heart and soul of Ace. So I'll let you speak on that a whole lot more. I do have my opinions about it. I feel like if you're going to take the Black Greeks out of colleges, then, you're going to lose a lot of students. A lot of students go to college and want to be a part of, the Greek life. And unfortunately, it's not the same acceptance if a Black student go and become part of a white fraternity. I don't know. So anyway, let's go to the comments real quick, and then I'll let y'all speak on that a little bit more. Hey, yo.
That's Ron.
What's up, Ron? My man,
that's
Ron.
Some real East Coast stuff, Ron. I knew that was you. Yeah. That's some real East Coast stuff.
Hello, guys. We are here. Who is that?
It's Deborah.
Deborah and Tony Goodson. Hey, we're just talking at random today, y'all. Conversations with rebrandUS. Ace posted the question. In Florida, they are trying to eliminate the Black Greeks from all the different white colleges. In addition to that, they're also trying to eliminate Black history studies, or Black studies, I guess, African American studies, from those same colleges. How do y'all feel about that, audience? Eric.
So I agree with what you said. So I'm going to talk about the Greek side a little bit more. I didn't go the Greek way in college. I didn't necessarily have the time, full-time student, full-time worker. So I didn't really have time for Greek life, but I understand more about the Greek way of life now. I think they definitely bring more community. No, it's not a good look, but but yeah, they bring more community services to the community, to not just the Black people, but just to everybody. It's a way to create positive connections with other Blacks, and I've seen different Black Greeks that have not just Black Greeks in there. I've seen some white Greeks in some of these fraternities, some Hispanics, and some of these Black fraternities. So it's not necessarily inclusive just to Black people that I've seen over the last few years. So I think it's a mockery to try to take away Black Greek, because it brings so much positivity to the Black community, and I think just to the community as a whole.
The ironic thing about this is Deion Sanders, how big of a role he could have played in this during this time if he was still at Jackson State. They make mention of that, and then of course he could then say whatever he needed to say then, thus promoting FAMU and some of those other HBCUs in Florida and so forth and so on. What does this do for the college athletes? The more differences that these colleges are making, the college athletes starts to change schools. And that's about money, and that's about wins, that's about, status, all these different things when it comes to college sports. So when I think about the different things that they do, we're elite when it comes to sports. How does that affect our athletes in those cities or those states?
It should change it immediately. If I'm a Black athlete, I wouldn't go to Florida to play, personally.
Well, if I'm a Black student, period, I got to leave the school, and if I'm a parent, I gotta advise my child that we have to leave the school, because basically what's going on is they're letting you know that they do not want you here. They don't want you to learn about your history, and you kind of combat that, and hey, we teach ourselves and stuff like that. But then taking away the Divine Nine, taking away Greek life, they letting you know we really don't want you to be a part of this university. We don't want you to be a part of this campus. We have our Greek organizations that are still here. We're not messing with. They're not messing with the Pikes, and they're not messing with the Sigma Chi's, anything like that. They're messing with the Divine Nine only. Being singled out. Shouts out to Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the greatest fraternity in all the land. But they're letting you know that they don't want you there. I think that as Black parents and Black students, they need to take all of those dollars and find other places to be educated. But it's not just because of that, but it's because they're showing you they don't want you there.
But the interesting part about that is, take Eric and myself. As a matter of fact, we could probably take Eric and myself at least. Eric and myself, neither one of us pledged any fraternity, right? So that eliminates us. That's not near and dear to our heart. So at this point, we can still go to a regular white traditional school in Florida. In addition to that, neither one of us took any African American study classes, right? And nor do we have that as a study. So how does that affect us?
It affects you because, let's say, even though you're not Greek, they're still telling you things that, even though you're not Greek, you're still connected through just being a Black college student. Because what we do is most of the Greek organization, we promote the social and mental well-being of Black college students. That's part of the organization and what we aim to do. So you still have that connection. And like I said, they targeted the Greeks because that's like a big part of it. But basically, in those two acts, they're letting you know that we don't want you here.
I also think it's a microcosm of the bigger society we live in. I don't necessarily think they don't want you there. I think they want you there, but they don't necessarily want you to learn more about your culture, your history. It's like the culture. They want our money, but they just don't want to hear your voice. You know what I mean? So I think it's more about that than anything else.
Okay. Shut up and dribble.
Basically.
So here we are again in Florida, the state of Florida, the state where Trayvon Martin was brutally murdered, and the man who did it got away. We can come up with those things all day long. I think they killed a lot of gay people in Florida, and they said it's okay. The stand your ground state, Florida. Now they're taking away HBCUs from the white schools as well as African American studies from these white schools. Why even be in Florida? And where do you go from there?
And that's a hard question because there's something that just popped up. But I definitely think this is one of the problems we have not being together. You know, this is where the dollar comes in. This is where the financial part comes in. This is where us putting our dollars together and keeping our dollars to ourselves. This is where that comes in because, you know, at the end of the day, money talks. It's the only thing that talks.
This is a very interesting conversation to me because it's about the education. Education is changing for those out there. Of course, we had Dr. Lavelle Hendricks on this show a year ago, about this time 1 year ago. And I think he changed all three of our ways of seeing education. Right?
He almost had me thinking about getting my master's. He almost did.
He wasn't that good for me. Well, I don't know. He said it was free, so I may have to think about it. However, that we do know, I was talking to someone the other day. She was telling me that she had 5 degrees and $300,000 worth of student debt.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys have student debt, but what's the saying? The education is not meeting up to the means. Is it even worth going to college, anyways, if you have to deal with racism in the educational system, graduating and not making enough money to even make ends meet? And then having a $400,000 or $300,000 loan.
First of all, shout out to her though for 5 degrees. Good gracious!
And she's not even 40.
She just had too much time on her hand. That's all that is. I don't even know if my one is real. I still look at that sometimes. Try to hold it up to the light.
Hello, good topic we're hearing. Who is that, Eric? So,
Vanetta Williams.
Who?
Vanetta Williams.
Vanetta Williams, my aunt too. All right, look, we conversations with the rebranders. Tonight is y'all's night. Actually, we're just having a conversation about anything. Ace posed the question about the state of Florida. The state of Florida apparently is saying that no more white traditional colleges. Is it just the white colleges or any college in the state
you know
of
what?
Florida?
Right now, I think it might just be one particular one that they're starting with, that they're aiming on that campus, but the African American studies is, I think, statewide. But the Greek, I think, is the Greek life is, I think, one campus. I can't remember the name, and I don't want to say their name no way. Get them free advertising. But
so no more Greek life in the state of Florida for black fraternities, black Greek. And
right now, one campus. Right now, it's isolated to that campus. But I'm pretty sure this is something that's
okay. But no more Black American studies in the state of Florida is what you're saying.
That's what because that's like a government thing. Well, they call it woke. It's some kind of woke act. You know, they done took the term woke and ran with it.
Right.
They'll go Floridian right there.
There's a whole problem out here. I believe that's Leonard, who's actually out there and from Florida.
Yeah, he's a Floridian. What's up, Leonard?
All right, so just random conversations. Thank you for that information, Ace. Moving right along, I think it's Eric's time. He's going to bring us a little something that's been near and dear to his heart that we've been talking about.
I don't know about that.
Ain't nobody gonna buy no Girl Scout cookies.
Ain't nobody selling them over here. We don't even buy them over here. Anyway, nonetheless, there's something that's kind of old news, but I want to talk about it a little bit today. It's the whole Ja Morant situation in the basketball world. You guys know anything about that?
I know an idiot when I see one, but let's talk about it. So
Ja Morant basically a couple weeks ago had an issue where he'd been kind of super flashy. He's one of the ones in the NBA that does the greedy dance. You know, it's really popular dance, whatever that most kids do. Even my 6-year-old son learned to do it, honestly. But anyway, he's been very flashy with different social media platforms, and at some point he flashed a gun when he was in a different NBA city. And they was wondering how he got it to the city. So they're saying maybe he got on a plane. Did he go in the locker room? But anyway, the whole fact of the matter is he brought a gun. He was flashing a gun on the platform. I don't know which platform it was. Maybe Instagram or maybe Twitter. But the issue is he got suspended for it. He went actually got some mental health treatment somewhere in Florida, actually. But now he's getting possibly reinstated into the NBA because he's kind of done his time.
Mhm.
But my question to you guys is, um, why would you do that? Why would you do that? What give you the purpose? What's the purpose of doing that? And where is he's a young man, 23, 24 years old. Where is his leadership? Who is he following? So those are three questions I'm posing to you guys right now.
Why would he do that was your first question. You know what? Success and money don't equal intelligence and wisdom. I mean, an idiot is an idiot with or without money. And unfortunately, the more money you have, sometimes the more ability you are to exploit your, how do you say idiocy or
Idiism?
whatever? Yeah.
Idiocracy.
He's a more, and it's hard to just, say that's the deal. But the reality is, and I don't know much about him, but I've heard these things that his mother and father are married. He's kind of like Clarence on the 8 Mile. You know what I mean? He tried to have this thug life, but in reality, he's a really good kid with good grades and all this stuff. And it's funny because these are the things for some strange reason that he is drawn to, even though he probably has a good dad. I don't know much about him. And he's got a good role model. He's got good people. But for some strange reason, this is what he's drawing. And this is the platform where all of a sudden now he can show his thug life. And for some strange reason, a fight is not what makes you a thug. And this is not what makes you a thug, but a gun is. And so he brings out a gun and it makes him look more thuggish. And on all places where social media. He's an Instagram thug. And it's, that's even worse than being a rap thug, a studio thug, studio gangster. Let's go to the comments real quick. It says, it falls back on who he's looking up to and respecting. Eric, who says that?
That's Leonard.
He changed that real fast. God dog, Leonard.
Man, so I agree with Leonard's answer is basically what I was going to say. It's the stupid social media generation. I'll never understand why you wait till you get millions of dollars and now you want to be a gangster. That's stupid. Real gangsters' aim is to get the money so they can live a life. They want to get away from the streets and all that kind of stuff. So they doing the stuff they doing in the streets to get money, to get away from it. You dummies is getting the money and then running to the streets to get killed. I mean, the family cool because they get your money and they get that insurance policy. So, I mean, big ups to you for that. But it's stupidity. And another thing the youngsters don't realize, now you're a target. So now what you're telling me is, because this is part of social media age, what they do, now, because you out this nightlife, you always out and stuff. Now, when we come to rob you, we know you strapped, so we got to handle you as you strapped. It's stupidity, all the way around. People can say the parents and guidance and stuff like that. It's just like Goodson said. It's just being an idiot. It's kind of hard to once a person get $20-30 million, 15, 20, however many $million, it's kind of hard to kind of tell them what to do. They got to kind of have that in their character. They self. Unfortunately, these cats gonna have to learn. They're gonna have to learn the hard way. I mean, look at all the examples they got. Plexico Barris, the guy that knocked his girlfriend out on the elevator. I mean, all these people lost money because of dumb decisions and stuff, and you just standing in line to give your money away.
Indeed. So I also brought up the whole thing about who's his leaders, who's his looking up to, like what Leonard said earlier too. That's a picture of his dad. He normally has some big old fancy shades on. He's kind of a new age dad. And I know we talked about this before on the show that sometimes parenting, and I agree with you, Ace. I think there's got to be something instilled in you that's inside of you, whether your parents help you instill or is something that's more innate that you was born with. But either way it goes, you have to have something in you. And if you don't have it in you, sometimes your parents can't instill it in you. But his dad, new age dad, really got Usher beside him on this picture here. He's really into that kind of lifestyle. At least that's what it portrays. Now, what it does at home, who knows?
His daddy about our age then. Well, Goodson's age.
Wow.
Class of 96. What class were you in?
It don't matter.
Okay, there we go.
97.
Let me ask y'all a question about leadership and parenting and all this stuff. This is this could be a part of the controversial, because I got my own opinions, and so do y'all, I'm sure. But women raising a young man, a woman raising a man to be a man. Now, I know we got some single women. My aunt, too, as a matter of fact, was one of them, who raised a boy to be a man. But how effective is that? Can she raise him to be the same man that a man can raise another man to be?
It depends.
Yeah,
It's factors in that. It depends on first of all, how thick is her beard and mustache, and how high pitched is his voice. So it can go either way with that. I honestly say with the right village around, yes. Uh, I say with the right village around, yes, and this is the reason. Um, the ones I say yes to are the women who realize their situation and they give their son over to the village. They steal the mother and things like that, but they hand the son over to the village. My father wasn't in the home. He was very present in my life, but he wasn't in the home. When I wasn't with my father, my mother handed me over to the village. She handed me to my uncles, and she handed me to like her classmates and things like that. So
you got to kind of explain what that is, because somebody like me, me anyways, I grew up with my mother and my father, but they weren't always around. They had to work. I went out with my friends. I did my things. Is that kind of like me being handed over to the village? Before you answer that, let's go to the comments real quick. Some women carry a man's energy.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was talking about the mustache and the and everything.
I think I'm gonna assume Debbie means to the extent of maybe having a disciplinarian type of an energy, structure type of energy. Maybe they see their son going in a certain direction and leading them in a certain direction type of energy. I'm hoping that's what you mean. But Debbie, welcome. Come on, and welcome to clarify your statement on the chat.
Talking about the goatee.
But
we both know Debbie. Debbie is she brings forth a presence. She's gorgeous. Let me go ahead and say that. But before I misdescribe Debbie, but she's 6 foot. She has a certain presence, and I know her and her son, and so she said yes, exactly, Eric. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on there. Her presence is strength. As a woman, I believe that as a single woman who is raising a boy, or all boys for that matter, you have to bring on that certain presence or that strength. And with her being even just a little bit taller, they say tall people brings up, has that, that energy as well. I think that goes for a very long way, and not just with her son's life, but what she can do and how she is perceived with other people in front of her son, if that makes sense. So I think that has a whole lot to do with it. And but when I think about a woman raising a man, they have to be, unfortunately, very, very tough and very, very overly strong. And sometimes they have to be more strict than a father would be strict. So, what are y'all's thoughts about that?
She just has to be aware of the situation. As long as they're aware of the situation, like I was saying, when I was saying handing over to the village. My mom was my mom. My daddy was a staple in he was there, but like I said, just being honest, he had like 2 other households, things like that. But letting the village be involved, letting men be involved in their life. I was with my pastor and assistant ministers, and I was a junior deacon, and I was with my uncles, and things like that. She never held me back. Like, oh no, my baby can't go there. Oh no, my baby. If it didn't had anything to do with me and stuff like that, she pushed me off to it. Like, go with them, go with the deacons, go with this, go with that, and things like that, because I think she was aware.
Let's go to there are multiple factors. There's a lot that women can teach a boy, but what usually happens is they try to raise a boy into what their idea of a man is. Very good, Leonard. I like that. Exactly. Well said, Anthony. Exactly my thoughts. I'm not sure who said that. Damn, Ace. We gotta tell that story. You know what? Tonight is a free for all, so we have to tell that story tonight, so people understand as that comes around. I had experience watching my brother. I had to be hard as a single parent. It was that Debbie.
That's Renata.
Renata. Oh yeah, she had plenty of brothers, raising sons. So that's good information. All right, so Ace, let's tell the story.
let me say this first, and get back to that funny part. So on the flip side, I think single moms play an important role, even if they don't take that masculine role on or the fatherly role on, because that's how boys typically tend to treat their spouses or their relationships with other females. Am I right? Typically, if you've seen it.
Did you say Boaz or boys?
I ain't seen either one of them.
Did you say Boaz?
Inside joke for that. No, so typically a man teaches daughter how she needs to be treated growing up. I think the flip side of that with boys and their mom too. Boys want to treat their mom with respect, open doors, things like that for them. So I see a lot of times where women with boys are twerking in front of their boys. I see a lot of times some of these women, some of these single moms are bringing in all these different men at different times. So, but I also see dads doing the same thing, bringing all the different women. But I think both play a super huge role in raising a boy. Now, back to the original question, I do believe that a woman can raise a son to be successful. I do think I will take part of what he said to be accurate, or at least for what I agree with. I do think the village is very important with the pastors, but you got to be careful about who you send your son off with. Still,
Oh,
you
yeah,
got to know who they are, especially in today's world. But anyway, serious stuff. I tell a story.
Well, I will tell the story at the end. I think it'd be more relevant at that time. But thinking about this subject, though, I'm thinking about different ingredients. We always make this analogy as of making a cake or a pie or something. When you make a cake or a pie, if you leave one ingredient out, it changes the taste, the flavor of a cake or a pie. Even something as small as vanilla, or anything. Sometimes people put a pinch of salt in their cookies or whatever. But it changes the whole dynamic of it. Take out the morsels, it's not a chocolate chip cookie anymore. I think when you take out a dad, I'm not gonna say it's a bad job. I just don't think it's the same job.
So you saying
there's gonna be something about that son. I think it's something about that son that you're not gonna necessarily see, and that's not a bad thing. Maybe he's not as good at this, or maybe he's better at that. Whatever the case may be, but I think it changed. Maybe he's more of a nurturer. I don't know some of the traits that a woman may have, but I do think it's a difference. And I think that the ingredients is very needed to be the way that it is, just the same as raising a young woman to be a lady. Let's go to the comments.
It's made up with sugar. You said one of the ingredients out, they replace it with a lot of sugar.
Boy, hush.
I know where you're going with it.
Ask you a question. You're talking about ingredients.
Many men don't even know what it means to be a man, so it becomes a watering down of what a man is and what their roles and responsibilities are from generation to generation. I imagine that's Leonard, as well said. I taught.
No, that was Vanessa.
That's Leonard. That was Leonard.
Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading it wrong. I'm sorry, Vanessa, giving you the wrong credit.
He didn't even say a name. I taught to respect it will go a long way. Who was that?
That's Ain't Two.
Ain't Two. And next, you got to be a hard parent. That's probably anybody. I'll just get all y'all credit on it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Eric, man, you were talking about this. This is a bit of a controversial topic we talked about today. And so we're talking about conversations with rebrands. If you, the audience, have something that you would like to talk about, please put in the comments. We'll bring it up. We'll talk about it tonight. Tonight, we're just having fun. But I'm going to talk about something kind of controversial. I'm smiling. I probably shouldn't be. This is gay world. Because Eric, you're in the therapeutic world. He's a counselor / what's your official title?
I'm a counselor, basically in training.
Okay. Now we have this he, she, which is normal, they, them, which is not. For those of y'all who don't know, those of y'all who don't know what a they, them is, a they, them is a male. Let me just use a man for an example, who does not identify as a man or a woman. So he wants us to somehow miraculously know that and call him a they or them. I don't even know if they, them, which one should I say? They or them?
Can be both. Both,
okay. Now, and the reason I'll bring this up, because I've been hearing about people being put on leave at work, and maybe it was me and Ace that talked about this. People being put on leave at work. People are losing their jobs. People are their lives are being destroyed because some person goes to work and they'll ask a person, who told you that? And he may say, oh, he told me that. But you're supposed to say they told me that. Talking about one person now, one male, because he don't know what he want to identify sexually. How do y'all feel about that? Where are we going as a world to where all of a sudden now I got to know what you're thinking? And this is the first step in that.
I think that we going to hell in a handbasket fast.
I'm out. You don't say we now.
As the world. Stupidity is reigning, right? So everybody has their opinion, everybody has their rights. You can be what you want to be. But the fact now that you're forced to deal with everybody else's stupidity, is a problem. You know, you can be what you want to be. Well, I still should be able to have my opinions as well, and I shouldn't be forced to look at an apple and say, hey, I really want that orange. You know, I should be able to look at that apple and say, hey, I want that apple. You know, and I mean that's just what it is. Like I shouldn't have to look in the sky and see an airplane and be like, man, that car sure is going fast. It's an airplane. That's what it is, you know. But we're in a society now where we're forced to be delusional along with the delusional. And right now, you know, it's like what's right is wrong, what's wrong is right, and it's crazy right now. It's just pure stupidity of what's going on in society. And like I said, I respect anybody's views, I respect anybody's opinions, and I respect what anybody wants to be. But you know, you can't force me to like look at something and then name it something else.
So I have to be very careful how I approach this topic in general. Just to,
He
just
fired.
just because of what I do. Also, just me being a Christian as well, because we're taught still to love everybody and treat everybody respectfully, and to love on them, right? So I think that I'm gonna get this bit of information. I think it's important for people to know when you do come across somebody that use different pronouns, right? If it's be a he and they're used to she, or use a she and her, and it's a he. You know, typically they'll say a lot of them will say, "Hello, my name is this. I go by he, her, or whatever case may be." Most of them do say that. For the ones that don't, that's kind of their responsibility to kind of bring that up. The other thing about them, I'm gonna say this first. The other thing about that population is they have a high acuity rate, which means they have a lot of identity issues, which feeds into some of their mental health issues, which they have a high acuity, typically above a lot of people in regards to suicide rates. So I say that to say this: we have to still love on them, even in their inability to identify what they are. Now I'm gonna say it like this too: identity issues is not just specific to that particular thing though. There's a lot of kids, a lot of young people who have a lot of trouble with identity stuff right now. It may not be sexually, but it could be, hey, just like John Morant, you're a rich guy from not from the hood, but from a nicer neighborhood. But you identify as a gangster right now on Snapchat or whatever case may be. So identity thing is a huge thing for everybody right now. Everybody's trying to find out who they are in other people instead of finding out who they are in God, in my opinion. So once you find out who you are in the right from the right source, it's very clear who you are at that point. But everybody don't have that same
So
grounding.
are you saying that all gay people are flashing guns in the club?
No, I didn't say homicidal. I
Oh,
said suicidal.
okay. I'm just trying to clear that.
Are you talking
I
about
think it's
John Morant?
ironic. I think it's
Uh-uh.
ironic. I think it's ironic that a group of people who have felt
It's true
oppressed in
too.
silence are doing the oppressing and the silencing now. You know, I'm with you, Eric. I think 100% we have to be very careful how we approach, any situation, racial situations. If you like Trump, if you don't, if you like Biden, if you don't, gay, not gay, whatever the case may be. I think we have to be very careful with that. We have to show love. The Bible teaches us that. But I also think that it's very important for us to hold on to this earth and do the best that we can because God gave us a free will. Uh, it's one thing God said. I don't know if I've ever said this here, but God destroyed the earth with water. After he finished doing that, he said, I'll never do it again. But when he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah with fire, he never said he wouldn't do that again. And unfortunately, I think history is repeating itself. At first, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I thought this gay thing, and let me go ahead and say this because I don't want any counseling or anybody getting off, logging off, be feeling offended. It's not about the gay world. I mean, it's not. I know gay people that I absolutely love. That sounds very racist when people,
Some
I
of
don't
my
know.
best friends are gay.
My best friend is gay. Uh, but the reality is, it's the rules of it, I believe, that are the problem, not the laws. We should all have laws. It's a subculture that has a system in place or rules in place that infringes on us as just normal rational human beings. And that's the problem that I have, because when you start doing that, just like what Leonard said, now you starting to oppress just the regular people. Like, I don't need to know what you do in the bedroom. That's the only thing that makes you gay. You could go around flamboyant, prancing around, and whatever it is that gay people, are known for doing. But that doesn't make you gay. What makes you gay is the act that you do in the bedroom with who you do it in the bedroom. And so to me, this is just so blown out of proportion. We don't need to know this. We don't need to really even have these conversations. But the LGBTQ community has now started adding other letters, and these other letters that they're adding cause other problems. The she's, the theys, the he, the thems, and all those things. Those are the issues that I start having personally.
You know what it comes down to, and what's crazy and the sad part about it is, it comes down to finance. That community is a very powerful community as far as numbers, sticking together as far as voting power, and they are strong as far as financial power. And they will pool together. They will boycott. They will, they will not use a service and things like that. And that's why it's being pushed in society in their favor, just point blank. Like matter of fact, let me be politically correct. I don't want anybody getting mad at me. People get mad when you say the F word, right? If you're talking about gay people, right? And I'm one of those people.
Clear that up. I didn't know what F word is.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I say it all the time because you can turn on the radio and you can hear nigga all the time. You heard I say the F word, but I say it nigga because that's the norm now. That, oh, you can't say that, but then you can just turn it on any station, see any race saying nigga freely. Right. So
what stations you got where they say the N-word?
On the radio.
The radio station?
That's nothing. Yeah. So my thing is
I don't know what radio.
I tell people all the time. Or something. I tell people all the time that it's not it's unfair. I even said, I forgot who said it. They said if you want people to stop using the N-word, we have to relate it to gay people somehow, and once the N-word starts relating to gay people, you won't be able to say it anymore because it'll stop because of their power.
I think me personally, I think about a really good point. We're talking about it's become norm, and what I've learned in my 43 years of life, and I continue to learn, is what societal norms are oftentimes biblically incorrect or biblically not right. So typically what I do, if it's popular in society, I try not to go towards that direction because typically it's not going to be biblically sound. So, but people misuse and overuse words all the time, just like the word toxic, right? Some people are just not making good choices. That don't necessarily make them toxic, but we use toxic so much. Toxic is in everywhere where toxic may not necessarily be the word that's central in that situation. But everything is popular now. What's popular get overused, and we overutilize stuff, and then it becomes less important, and it become less. What's what I'm looking for? It's just not something that we use very efficiently anymore. We just want to be popular. That's what everybody's looking for: money and popularity.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the preacher say one time that everything is popular now. At one point, it was voted as unheard of, and then it goes through a process, and before you know it, it becomes law. It's popular all of a sudden. Like everything, the gay world, even black people being legal, everything. It was unpopular at one point. Now all of a sudden it's kind of the law, and that's man's law. That's the world, and it's unfortunate. You have to train your kids to read just the Bible, to know that's where the truth lies. The Bible says, if you know the truth will set you free, and the truth is always going to be true. So anyway, tonight we're doing conversations with rebrandUS. Thank y'all for tuning in. Leonard, Debbie, Ain't Two, Tony, Deborah. Am I forgetting somebody?
So far as
that, hold on.
Ron,
what's up, Ron?
Ron.
Yep. Debbie. Y'all keep the comments coming. Please let us know what y'all.
Daniel OB. He one of our Jamaican folks on here tonight.
In his language, say hello.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, man. I don't know how to say. I don't know how to
speak English. You just say hello.
Oh well, I don't know. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, let us know what y'all want to talk about tonight. Anything else? What else y'all got going on?
Man, I want to talk. So I do want to talk about a subject that it kind of hurt my feelings. Is how quickly as a people we feed into stupidity like we go along with it, and it's crazy. So there was a guy on social media, and Goodson, I think we talked about this. There was a guy on social media talking about he has 7 kids by 7 different women, and he doesn't take care of the kids, and he's not in their life because he told the women that he did not want kids, he was not taking care of kids, anything like that. So he goes on to say how other women either took a Plan B pill or had an abortion, but these 7 women decided to keep the kids. So he feels like it's their fault and their responsibility because he told them up front he didn't want kids, he wasn't taking care of no kids, he didn't want to be a part of no kids' life. So he got these women pregnant, and he's not a part of kids' life. He's nowhere to be found. And in saying this, I read in the comments, and it amazed me how many women agreed with him. So the question I have to ask you guys is, what do you feel about his comments, things like that? Since he told the women up front he did not want kids, he wasn't going to take care of kids, he's not going to be a part in their life. Is he responsible for the children?
Listen here, I'm gonna get my gun and I'm gonna put it up to your head, and I'm gonna tell you that it's full of bullets, and I'm gonna pull the trigger and I'm gonna kill you. Should I go to jail afterwards?
I hope so. I hope you go to jail before you get to me.
He should pay child support like the next person. He's responsible for these children. Now, don't get me wrong, the women made a stupid decision, but so did he. But guess who didn't make the stupid decision? It was not the kids. These kids need to have their finances handled. These kids need to have, unfortunately, not going to have that in their life. I think I saw that video. And the guy, he posted the video himself. So they can find him if they want to find him. That's not going to be a problem. Child support can find anybody. What the comedians say, they were having trouble finding Bin Laden. They said, send child support out.
Yeah. That's an earthquake. Earthquake ain't my real name.
Hey, let me go to the comments on that real quick. Oh, well, it's not much of a comment.
It's Yashika Washington.
Yashika, what's up? Thank you for joining us, Yashika.
I agree with that comment, though. The thing is that I don't want people to feel like they got to be on one side of the line or the other. Sometimes it's both and. So, yes, he told the women that he wasn't going to take care of them. So women should know not to sleep with him. Right? He knew there's a possibility to sleep with a woman, they might get pregnant. Right? So there's a responsibility on both sides of it. There's no one right and one wrong in this situation. It's both ends. Both parties are responsible because the child isn't here now. Child's here.
Sensation is not the same. Hey, listen, this is Johnny Carson. I'm gonna say the answer and then I'm gonna read the question. The sensation is just not the same. Let's pull up the question.
Did he ever hear of protection? He needs to pay. I completely agree with that. And I think what's more, because I'm used to stupid men. We all know deadbeats and stuff like that. But what the amazement to me is the people who were supporting him in the comments, black women. And so I was like, I guess the thought that came to my head is, have we been so conditioned to be a single parent society, to be a single mother, fatherless home society? Have we been so conditioned that they are agreeing with this guy? The women.
Wait, let me tell you something though. But this is what people gotta understand. Social media it's a great representation of the people, but it's also a great representation of the people who tune in to that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you most of those women were not doctors and lawyers. I guarantee you they were not married women who had great husbands. I guarantee you they weren't first ladies or preachers. I guarantee you the educational level wasn't there. There was a bunch of ratchet women just like the man that posted that video. Let's go to the comments.
Are you saying they were hoochies?
Absolutely. Every time intercourse occurs without protection is an attempt to have a baby. I don't know who said this, but this is 100% true. They may hope it doesn't happen, but they are definitely trying. It might be Leonard. That's 100%.
That's Leonard. Hey, Leonard. Now Pimp C asked the question. You said you wore a rubber every time. And if you tell me that, I know that you be lying.
I think we need to have a show about sex one day. I got a lot of different.
You got videos for that show?
No video. Just all talk.
How we gonna have a show about that without no video? For we need
let me reframe the question, not about sex itself, but about the importance of teaching our young people about the ramifications of sex. How about that? That's a long title, but I'm talking about reframing it a little bit for you guys. Anyway, keep moving.
It's not quite as fun, but I get you. We were gonna have Debbie on as a guest. Not that Debbie, not you, Debbie. The one who did Dallas.
Hey, so
when did it start?
So I had a Facebook friend that posted something the other day that said that it is harder to be a baby mom as opposed to a wife. What do you guys think about that comment?
Is it hard to be a baby mom as opposed to a wife? I'm assuming a wife that doesn't have any children.
They made that very clear, but let's make that part of the equation.
That's situational because
let's say the wife has a child with her husband. Let's say that.
That's situational because she could be a baby mom where the man is fully supporting the child and handling his business, but they're not married. She's a baby mom. I actually, in some cases, I think the baby mama dodged the bullet. Like by not being with the guy. I think she got a hold to one of the deadbeats and she's struggling. So that's her truth. Like I said, she identifies as a struggling woman.
I think it's a lot of dynamics to that question, actually. A baby mama who's single or a baby mama who's married to someone else. But a baby, because if she's single, then she got her own struggles as a single mom. If she's married to someone else, thank you, Ace. Somebody posted. Let me go ahead and pull that up.
Anytime I can, I somebody else.
They have the help, and but I can't say from the standpoint of a woman because a woman has a lot of different issues. But I would imagine if you got a deadbeat dad, and assuming your finances aren't great, being a baby mama is a tough situation, especially if he's deadbeat. If he's not helping out in any kind of way, then it just seems like unless you just got a cheating, no good husband, it seems like that at that moment the baby mama is a much tougher job to have.
Let me say this. Let me reframe this a little bit too. Cause I know the girl that posted this, right? So she is a baby mom, and I'm thinking based on what I've read now, I think she's talking about in regards to it's easier to be a baby. It's easier to be the wife. It would have been easier to be a wife to this guy that she had the baby with. That makes sense,
right? Gotcha. I don't know. Being a mother in general is really tough. I don't even think being a father is anywhere near as tough as being a mother. I think it's less respected, of course, but I don't think it's nowhere near as tough as being a mother. A mother got to be nurturing. She got to do everything but provide. And in some cases, if she's the baby mama, she got to do that too. Or if she's a single mother, she has to do that too. So, I 100% have nothing but a great deal of respect for all the mothers out there raising men, women by themselves or with someone else, because that's a hefty, hefty job.
Even y'all raising them, same thing.
So I agree with that statement. I think women. I would disagree with the part that I don't think they as respect. I think kids love mom. I think they love them. I think kids kind of, I ain't gonna say fear dad, but they have a little bit different type of that's probably a better way to say it. Different type of respect for dad as they do for mom. Because when I get home, my kids love me, but they still lay on mama. You know what I mean? So,
I think people respect and fear dad for sure. It's just that in general, dad don't get the same love. I mean, that Father's Day. I think Bill Cosby say for 6 months before Mother's Day coming. Mother's Day coming around the corner. Buy mom this. A couple of days before, Mom Day, everything Mom Day. And then, but Father's Day is like 10 o'clock on Saturday night. Everybody's like, tomorrow's what? So I think that, that's the respect that we get as fathers, as men. Who was it? Chris Rock makes a bunch of jokes about how little respect we get as fathers. That's the messed up part. But I do believe women, mothers, good mothers, because you can't put them all in the same boat. I think that they got a hefty haul. They have way more pressure on them than what we do, and almost like we just get to go out and work, and that's probably all that's expected of us. Men haven't changed since the beginning of time. All right, any more comments out there from all you rebrandUS listeners? Thank y'all for watching tonight. Thank y'all for sharing. Wait, I say thank y'all for sharing. I might have to cuss them out at that. I don't see enough shares.
This dude.
Get y'all for not sharing.
It ain't a share out there.
Yeah. So, if y'all have anything else, we got about 5 minutes left to talk. But it's been pretty fun. What y'all think?
Oh
Indeed.
yeah, it's definitely been a blast. Just kind of covering some of the things that's going on in society, some of the things going on social media and things. It's always a honor and a pleasure when I get to get on with you guys and just have a deep discussion.
All right. So you said social media. As we look at the last 4 or 5 minutes of our time, is social media going to take us in a positive place to a positive place,
I
or
think
is it going to just kind of digress us?
social media is dragging us down. Let me tell you something. I always say the worst thing about social media is it gave cowards a voice. Social media is almost, it's not all the way, but almost completely negative. You can have an innocent post. It can be a picture of an innocent child just waving, somebody saying happy birthday, she's 5 today. And instead of people saying happy birthday or not saying anything at all, ain't no way I would have put on that sweater. She got them shoes on with that. They finding reasons like that. And that's yeah, social media is the pits.
So this ain't about social media, but I know it's about time for us to get off. I really want to say this because I just thought about it. You guys don't know or haven't heard, we're in Texas, DFW area, for our listeners who may be across the country or even in the other countries.
Grove
Um,
side, stand up.
there was a incident in Arlington, Texas, a couple of days ago, where a young man got shot at school. And so 3 young men involved. I don't know. I can't remember all the details, but I know one young man died in this incident. So somebody brought a gun to the school, obviously. Whether you're a good parent or you consider yourself a bad parent, I'm pleading with every parent. Please talk to your kids. Find out what they got going on inside their heads. Because I really want all our kids to come on from school every day. Because everybody got something going on, but maybe their kid needs somebody to talk to. Who knows? But I'm pleading for all parents or your mentor or whatever case may be. Please talk to the kids so your kid, that kid, and all our kids get to come home safely. Because there's too much that's going on in across the country right now. But I know it's close home to me because it's in Arlington right now. So please, if you have a prayer life, send a prayer for the people who lost a loved one. So
Somebody
it's getting bad out there.
somebody got shot at Thomas Jefferson today, at Thomas Jefferson High School today.
So I'm saying
Um,
so.
yeah,
Just
it's
ramp them
definitely
back up.
we gotta talk to these kids. Definitely, we gotta reach out to the younger. We definitely have to reach out to the younger generation and
And look, if you had to
talk
give
with them.
advice, parenting 101 to one parent, just one nugget of advice, what will your one bit of advice be?
What
Mm,
it's what I just said. Take time to talk to your kid.
yeah,
Not just today, but every day. See how the day went. You build that communication up with them.
talk
Maybe not
with them,
exactly at them.
not
Exactly.
necessarily just at them. Talk with them and
Indeed.
really find out what's going on. Also, beat them flat out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take that how you want to take it. Beat them. They'll be all right.
Uh, Beating is such a harsh word. I think
I
it's
I bet Penny
more
on Good Times grew up to be a brain surgeon.
Got you.
dancer, singer, actress.
Yeah, she probably grew up to be a great entertainer. You know
Yeah.
why? Because her mama burnt her with the iron. That's motivation.
Well,
So she got older and she gained back that control.
Yeah.
Y'all, this has been a. Oh, go ahead, Eric.
I'll say this though. I mean, parenting, to go back to that question, you have to be very diverse as a parent. You can't parent just one way though. I know Ace was kind of being funny with her about the spanking, a little bit funny, but you can't just spank. You can't just, as they say, gentle parent. You can't just talk. You got to be multitude of different levels of just care for your child. Every child is different, so
Yeah.
just be aware of your kids, please. Be aware of your kids.
Bible
Yeah.
said, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from that. I think I read that today in the Bible. So anyway, that's mine. Hey, yo, Ace, before we get to you, we got one more comment. Yeah. We need to stop talking about doing something and get after and be proactive. Who is that?
It's
I
Deborah
bet you
Goodson.
that's
That's
Deborah
what's
Goodson.
good. Yes, indeed.
You
That's
know
why
what? That's
that's
why
why I
three
get
of
out in
us
the
are on here
community.
who are raising 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 great kids. So I agree with you on
And
that
a
comment.
possible. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
We have to get
Okay.
out there. And speaking of children, in schools right now, before we get to that, eighth grade at Spruce High School, my alma mater. Y'all need to be ashamed of yourself for the situation that's going on. Same BS been going on. I graduated in 1996. DISD, you need to be ashamed of yourself. You don't give funding to the school. You turn your back on the school. You don't report the crime going on. You don't assist them. When other schools were getting computers, we didn't get anything but a pregnancy center. You're not giving the school the proper education. You closed it down for 2 years and opened it back up with the same crime and same things like that. DISD, you really need to be ashamed of yourself for the way that you handle eighth grade at Spruce High School for years, not just right now, for years. And I think as eighth grade Spruce alumni, we need to start speaking up, and we have to get together and do something to help our kids, because they're going down the same path that we were going down when we were there. And at some point, we got to stop the cycle.
Hey, yo, Ace, who do we have on the show next week?
I'm discussing the topics that have to deal with the Black family. You know the food or the drink is good when the person says swallow instead of swallow. We're going to have an interview with librarians with Tourette syndrome. And the name of the show is going to be titled Breaking the Rules. And we will have their mics muted most of the time. Married couples that swing at the playground. Are they confused or just risk takers? Giggity, giggity. We'll see how that goes. You know,
catch Adrian, the Ace Stinson, and the rest of the rebrandUS crew live Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central on YouTube and Instagram at rebrandUS Podcast, Facebook at rebrandUS, or rebrandUS.org.
I work too hard. Look, I work too hard for this stuff, man.
You know, I was looking at y'all in the background, and we've watched that video many times, and you still laugh every time. Ain't that something?
Those funny moments, man. The guests.
We need to create some more funny moments. But anyway, we got a minute or two left. Actually, we probably past a minute or two, so let's get to it. Hey, yo, Ace, who do we have on the show next week?
Hey, next week, thank you everybody for tuning in this evening. Next week, y'all tune in. We got a great group of people. I searched high and low, far and wide. Next week, we have a group. It's actually a support group that I found, but we're going to have on the show people with small teeth that continuously order double meat hamburgers. Confidence. Y'all keep up the fight. You know you can't get all the way through that double meat. You got your lips all out. Yeah, just cut it.
What's the name of that show?
Oh man, a little teeth.
Yeah, y'all know the people.
Big meat, I guess.
Teeth the same size they gone. They let me get a double cheeseburger with a.
Hey, thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.